Everyone, so we're back here at Chill Meat's Slaughterhouse in West Hendon, Essex for another Essex Pig Save Vigil. We're here to bear witness to hundreds of pigs on their way to slaughter, innocent beings who have never done a thing wrong to us, who, well, I'm kind of lost for words, to be honest. I mean, I've been doing this for over 2 years now, but it never gets any easier. We've just seen the first truck full of pigs on their way in. Pigs who would have been starved for around 24 hours up until this point. And the sole reason that it makes the clean-up easier, apparently. Just got to move out of the way here. I mean, regardless of how it's done, there's no way we can morally justify taking the lives of these innocent beings who don't want to die. It's one precious life that we think we have the right to take for the sake of a 5-minute meal. But yet the fact that they get treated in this manner, the fact that they are forced to travel across the country in many cases in these incredibly hot conditions, it really does rub salt into their wounds. I mean, it's nearly 8 AM as I record this, and already we're in the mid-20s like degrees Celsius. I mean, expected to rise as the day goes on, and I fully expect the conditions that the pigs are in to get a whole lot worse.
Please. Guys, step back, please.
So that was the second truck we've seen go in so far today. As you probably saw, some of the pigs were foaming at the mouth, which is a sign of dehydration. As I mentioned earlier, they're starved for around 24 hours before slaughter, purely as a matter of convenience. It's a bit just convenience for us. I mean, that pretty much sums up the whole industry, doesn't it? That sums up carnism, convenience. That's all it really comes down to. The one redeeming factor, I suppose, is seeing all these wonderful people out here speaking up for the animals. Like I said, I've been coming here for over 2 years now, and our numbers here have continued to grow rapidly. So things are changing, of course they are, but nowhere near quickly enough where the animals are concerned. Just about to do another 2-minute silence.
alright, sorry. Are you timing now?
So we've just seen the fourth truck this morning going inside the slaughterhouse. As you hopefully saw in the footage, many of them were foaming at the mouth yet again, which, as I said, is a sign of dehydration, breathing heavily, as you'd expect. You'll have obviously seen how packed in they were, and just consider the fact that they would have sometimes travelled from like the other end of the country. Some of them come from as far as Scotland in this heat, having been starved for 24 hours. I could go on. I mean, I could try and describe this all day, but I wouldn't be able to do justice to what they're actually going through. I mean, I could never imagine myself in that situation. Could never imagine how I would feel if that was me. Could you? I don't know. Another thing I noticed was that a lot of the pigs didn't have teeth. In fact, something that a lot of people aren't aware of is that a standard practice within the industry is, as soon after they're born, to rip the teeth out without anaesthetic. The reason this is done is because in the cramped conditions they're kept in, they will sometimes resort to attacking each other, often cannibalising each other as well, which is a sign of insanity. So yeah, they rip their teeth out, they clip their tails off, sometimes they'll castrate them as well, all without anaesthetic. And I mean, it's not nice to hear this, is it? It's not nice to see like the footage of what goes on inside these slaughterhouses. It's not even nice to see like probably some of the footage you've seen here today, but this is only happening because we're paying for it at the end of the day. Like every other industry on this planet, it works on a supply and demand basis. I mean, if you think about it, these industries aren't abusing animals for the sake of abusing animals. They're doing it because that's where the money is. They're doing it because people are making the choice every day when they go into a supermarket, when they go into a restaurant, wherever you're getting your food from. You make a choice then on a daily basis. Are you going to pay for this, or are you going to take a stand against it? And that's all veganism really is, taking a stand against arguably the biggest form of injustice on this planet. It's been the longest running injustice. It's around 3,000 animals a second, I think, on this planet. To be honest, again, like I said, I'm pretty lost for words. And having been doing this for over 2 years now, you'd think it'd get easier, you think it'd start to make a bit more sense. And whilst, yes, you do get better at dealing with it, it's, you know, it never fails to shock you. It never fails, like, how can I put this into words? Whenever I'm here, whilst on a daily basis, I do see how veganism is growing. How fast the movement's growing, how many more options are coming available in the supermarkets, in the restaurants, everywhere. It's no different here to how it was 2 years ago when I started. These animals are still being brought in here and killed at a rate of around, I think it's about 3,000 a week they kill here. So that hasn't changed. The only way that's going to change is if we have more, not only more vegans obviously, but more activists. If you're already a vegan, please get active. Please join your local save group. Please join your local AV group, or maybe set up like an event of your own. Because, you know, simply choosing not to participate in animal suffering is no longer enough. It's the first step, obviously, but we need to actively fight for these animals. How you would want to be fought for if you were in their position.
I'm actually on the side of caution one evening. Don't like that.
Sweetie pie. Just look into their eyes. There's an innocent, living, breathing being in there. Not just a commodity. Not just the products in the neatly wrapped package that you'll find in the supermarket. Every single one of these is an individual who should have the same rights to life that we humans get given at birth. Why should they not be entitled to the same thing? Because in all the ways that matter, they're just like us, are they not? Is that what that's supposed to be?
Yeah.
I didn't know that. There's no.
Has anybody videoing? Look.
Yeah.
No
so
water.
there's no water in there whatsoever, and it's got to be about 30 degrees out here now.
And it's got to be 40
35
plus.
in the
Oh,
south
whoa.
corner.
Got to be.
On the back of the lorry,
Yeah.
it says apparently there's a shower in there for 'em.
Yeah, of course, of course.
It's not just that one. Look, it's all of them.
Fresh air, shower and water, it says, for this lorry, apparently.
They got joking.
On the back of the lorry.
So we've got more dehydrated pigs in here, no access to water whatsoever in these trucks that are probably around 40 degrees inside, I'd imagine. They might well have travelled from the other end of the country. Do we have an idea where this truck's come from? Does it say at the back?
No.
Well, sometimes they do travel from as far up as Scotland, so potentially they could have been in here for hours. Oxford, okay, yeah, Oxford. That's yeah, still a fair distance for them to be dehydrated for this long.
Some of them come from Scotland.
Sometimes they do, yeah. Okay, so we've now just seen the 7th and we're presuming final truck of today. Just to give you an impression of how hot it actually is out here today, the ground here is like melting. My foot's sticking to the ground, and I don't know how well you can see that on there, but it'd be even hotter inside the trucks. So you can imagine how horrible it must be for these pigs, who, as I've said, will have been starved for the 24 hours prior to being sent here. Some of them would have travelled from the other end of the country, and I know most people are reasonable people. Most people will be disgusted by what I'm saying here, but as I've said, the only reason this is happening is because we're paying for it. So it's up to us to show these industries that there's also money in investing in cruelty-free alternatives. I don't know if you can hear that, but right now you can hear the pigs screaming as they're being forced inside the slaughterhouse against their will, where they'll then be hung upside down, painfully stunned electrically, and then have a knife shoved into their throat. This is what you're paying for when you go into the supermarket and you pick up that neatly wrapped package, and it's easy for you to disassociate what it is you actually bought. It's easy for you to forget that there was once a living, breathing being that didn't want to die. But the reason why we keep coming here today, I mean, look how many of us there are here on a Monday morning. The reason we keep coming here is to show you what's going on behind closed doors, to show you the kind of things that you're not going to see on TV, to get you thinking about the choices you're making every day. Now, we can't force you to do anything, obviously. tell you what to think, I can't tell you what to do, but if you are a reasonable person, then you will not want to pay for this anymore. For more information on going vegan, I'm going to leave a few links in the video description. Believe me, it's honestly so much easier than most people seem to think it is. I've been vegan for around 2 years now. It's the best thing I've ever done, and my only regret is not doing it sooner. So, now that you've seen this video, you can no longer say that you didn't know about what goes on. So what's your excuse now?